for us is all about. So I'm sure most of us are aware of the following points that I have mentioned here, that a thought is not just the information that comes into our brain, but it is energy as well. So we also know that anything in existence is matter. It could be the table or laptop or telephone, anything of that fact for that matter is matter itself, and 99.99% of that is energy. I'm sure all of you all are aware of this. So it's not just our bodies which are a bundle of energy, but also our thoughts. So when we direct a thought with conscious intent or intention, we very well know with the principle of the subconscious mind, or we know about the famous book Secret or the movie Secret. We know about all the other beautiful books of Joseph Murphy about the power of subconscious mind, that they have power, and this power can be transmuted into a specific reality through certain set of intentions, right? So whatever we see in life, we also know is just the vibration of the thought that we offer to it. So we also know that every thought sends out a wave of energy which has a specific frequency that attracts energy with similar frequency. So it is like the magnetism principle that we were talking about yesterday. Therefore, it definitely makes a lot of sense to broadcast information which we want to in turn attract. So I keep telling my students often that if you want to listen to a song that's being played in a radio station, which is at the frequency of 98.1, you have to tune into that station. You can't be playing 102.5 and imagine that I'll now listen to the song that's being playing in the other stations. So you got to tune into that frequency. And to tune into it, we know how affirmations work. We know how we tap into the subconscious mind. Most of you all would have read those books and understood that. But there's a specific point that I want to make, and that's why I'm just giving a background to this, that when we need to attract something specific, that we have to match that thing, and we know that there's beneath the logical conscious mind which is willing and aspiring to attract something, there is a whole bunch of background to it. So just like how a tree has roots to it, your subconscious mind has a massive background towards what we actually think. But here is a fantastic thought of Patanjali. Patanjali is one of the main founders of Yoga Sutra, as you all know. So he says that, of course, we know that we do some affirmations and constant repetition of wanting something to manifest something materialistic. But he says, I would like to just reread it as it is quoted by him. When you are inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, all your thoughts break their bonds. Your mind transcends limitations. Your conscious expands in every direction, and you find yourself in a great, new, wonderful world. So I've had a lot of students, and I've read a lot of review about people who have been doing this affirmation to manifest things, and they have their own opinion that sometimes it kindles a lot of apprehension and worry in them, because the more they think about I want this and I want that, it amplifies tension. Whereas the other set of spiritual people tell me that is it right to always go behind desires and always constantly wanting to attract something and not being in the present consciousness. Some people believe in the principle because it's definitely logical, it works, we all know. So there's always been that dual-mindedness about, or different schools of thought regarding this. But here is Patanjali making it so easy for us. And I always believe in this, that there are three types of thoughts that we all can create when we want to attract something. One is out of the passive thought, where we have a limited objective. We have, we want to materialize something, but it's just for me, my own needs and myself, which is not wrong. But the other sort of an active intention is where if I create this, then a lot of other people can also yield benefits. So you're connecting it at a wider perspective. And then comes the real thought where, as Patanjali says, your purpose is so humongous and huge that there are no limitations whatsoever to manifest this. So whenever we are connecting to wanting to attract something, I think it's always appropriate that we think of a higher purpose. It is called as very, very important aspect. In fact, this is This could be a fresh concept for a lot of you who have been following the principles of secret or subconscious mind. We have to always underline the aspect of dominant purpose. Now, what is this dominant purpose? Now, dominant purpose is what exactly do you need? Having absolute clarity. No, it is not what you're thinking. I'm sure you're thinking, yes, we should use appropriate positive words to attract something. We have to think it's already manifested, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we have read that a lot. But according to the ancient Indian spiritual scriptures, where desires are in a way considered as one of the major things that attracts pain and suffering, they are creating a new purpose altogether, so that when you build your desires based on this dominant purpose, you're not entangled in the karmic suffering, or you're not creating that desperation and stress and anxiety, which will again put you into the vicious cycle. So what is this dominant purpose then? Now, I'll give you a simple example. I'm sure from now on, every time you think of manifesting something at a subconscious level, this is going to help. Now, if a person from childhood, or probably from the time he understands that the principles of subconscious can help me attract what I want, is willing to attract money, which is not wrong. So let's say he makes affirmations, I attract money, I love money, I attract lots and lots of money, I make a lot of money, I'm making big business out of this, so a lot of customers are coming in, I have a lot of money, and all that. Nothing wrong, you'll definitely have a lot of money. But dear friends, we know how subconscious mind works. I'm not going to elaborate on that. We all know that it doesn't understand the joke and what you're serious about. It cannot get into the intricacies or inner layers of what exactly you want. Neither can it decipher meaning from what you actually meant. So it will only manifest something that you keyed in with specific emotion, specific degree of intense emotion. So in my journey of, I'm not degrading the value of money. I also love money. All of us love money. It's a beautiful energy. But what would happen? I'm telling you, if that becomes my dominant nature and aspect and goal, then my subconscious is, okay, let's go for money. But in the journey of reaching there, since I haven't put my dominant purpose, it will say, we will ensure, or I will ensure that you get money, but you might have to lose upon your health. Doesn't matter. You have money. You might lose upon your relationship. Doesn't matter. You have money. Maybe you will not get a good night's sleep because you're working 24/7. You have a big list of clients lined up for you. Doesn't matter. You still have money. Oh, look at your beautiful car. You have Lamborghinis. It doesn't matter. You have money and you have a car, but maybe you're hurting your spinal cord because you've been sitting for more than 18 hours in your office, interacting with your clients or doing your project. But it doesn't matter. You have money. Eventually, you might, I'm not saying this could be true in every case, but I'm trying to make you understand what this dominant nature or dominant purpose is all about before you think about attracting things in life. Right. So eventually a person can land up having a lot of money, but at what cost? What did you put in stake for? What did you sell for? As that famous saying goes, do everything and anything for what you want, but don't sell your soul for it, So there's another famous story that Osho used to tell in his discourses. I will probably tell that after I end this example. So eventually what happens is you have a lot of money, but maybe you'll end up losing up on a lot of other things. The very reason why you wanted all that money. But let's now imagine the same scenario where I understand the dominant purpose. I understand the value and essence of what is really, really important for me, and I have a blueprint. So whether I have money or not, I want happiness. So if I strive for I am happy, I'm ever happy, I'm always happy. I feel happiness within, I feel with something and without something, I always feel happy. This makes me happy. If it is not there, that is also fine. I'm always happy, irrespective of the circumstance. But I am happy. So let's say you make such affirmations and connect with your subconscious with similar programmed intentions. Your subconscious or the logical mind, which also works in alignment with that when you're doing an affirmation, knows that for you, happiness is a synonym for good relationship. Happiness is synonym for your good health. happiness is synonym for, of course, if I'm not feeling healthy, I'm not happy. If my partner is fighting with me, I'm not happy. If probably I'm under loss, I'm not making enough money, I'm not happy, blah, blah, blah. So there are so many criteria that is attached to it, that is merged with it. The very word happiness is such a expansive, progressive term that you tend to attract all this. So the dominant nature, for example, I can take example of my own profession. The dominant objective is to help people realize that holistic wellness and drugless therapy is definitely one of the top modalities of treating a person. So if my dominant nature and purpose and objective is that, and I make affirmations based on this, then obviously as a part of helping people, I'm going to make a lot of friends, I'm going to write books, I'm going to travel, which has been happening, I'm going to make beautiful meditation tracks, I'm going to make a lot of money, I'm going to be comfortable, I'm going to be in alignment with my soul purpose. So when we are making affirmations, we are so fancied about certain terms and explanation of late with some books that's coming up, but never ever misalign yourself from the spiritual purpose of why you're born for, because when you deviate, then you might land up getting what you did suggestions and affirmations for, but you might also land up losing on the very purpose why you attracted that. So that is why I often keep telling people that when you make an affirmation, please subject it to the universe and surrender. Do not be desperate. If I'm making an affirmation or suggestion that I've bought a car, it's beautiful, it's comfortable, it's luxurious, blah, 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 and all that, and you imagine that you're driving it, like all that suggestion that's given to us in those famous videos and books, fine, fair enough. But at the end of it, yes, sometimes with a heavy heart, but actually with a light-heartedness, you've got to surrender to the universe and say, please let this in if it is for my highest good. Please let this in if it is for my highest good. You can say, how can a good car not be for my highest good? I will definitely think it is for my highest good. Who knows? You might have an income tax raid after you buy that. So you got to really surrender that and be absolutely neutral about its outcome. So I'm sure you know about the other principles of how you got to do suggestions, but this I thought is important. Right. So now there's another very important problem that most of my clients come up with, that when they are meditating or doing suggestions or working on their health, they have certain primary thoughts, negative thoughts, in fact, which keep nagging in their mind or keep worrying them. So we got to practice something that can help us to release them, because if I give you a bottle that's filled with dirty water and I ask you to drink it when you're thirsty, you will definitely refuse. So what if I pour good water into the same bottle and say, now it can be better for you to drink, why don't you drink it? You will say it has got diluted, but it is still not fit to be drank. So what will you do? You will throw away the dirty water, clean it, and then fill good water, and then it is eligible to drink, isn't it? Similarly, when you're clogged with negative thoughts, when you're jammed with thoughts of frustration, anger, grief, worry, and pretense, and you're doing something for positive, better life, there is no receptivity, there's no signal to attract it. So we got to do something deliberately which can clean the junk from our system. Just like how we brush our teeth and comb our hair and take bath and spray perfume on our body, we got to also work towards cleaning the internal junk. There are many, many methods. This is one of the beautiful, simplest methods that we can all accommodate and practice. So what you have to do is assume that every finger has got an emotion. So every now and then, because these primary 5 negative emotions, all of us experience in some form or the other. I think in one day only we go through all 5 of them. But if we are lucky, at least once in a week, glimpses of these will come. So when you have fear, or when you are influenced with fear or panic, sometimes there's no specific reason. Some people go through some sort of apprehension and anxiety attacks, hypertension and all that. So you can imagine that I'm considering the emotions to be represented by left hand, holding that finger with another a hand, making a fist and letting that finger of fear in between, and imagine that all the fear is being thrown out through this mudra or through this posture or through this act. So you just sit comfortably, focus on your breathing and imagine I'm releasing all my fear. You need not specify what this fear is all about, why did it come. Of course, we do that in therapy, but just don't have to worry. Fear is fear. So you just say any sort of fear, depending on whatever circumstance, the subtlest of the subtlest to the major fear and apprehensions, I choose to release it. That is not my nature, and therefore I choose to release it. Just do it for a minute or two. If you are subjected to a lot of anger, sometimes you're working in such a setup that you throw out a lot of anger and try to control others. You get frustrated when people are not listening to you. Sometimes it's very normal. So, it's part of your job sometimes, unfortunately, where you've got to release such emotions, though you can try better ways, but it happens. But you're not such sort of a person in real. It's probably because of the tendency you gathered from your parents. It's in your DNA. It's in your superconscious. It's in your subconscious, rather. It's in your belief system, or you're just copying the way somebody reacted to that situation. But you're not really that person. So what do? You pass a comment or a suggestion and say, by holding the middle finger, that I release all the anger. And then just sit for some time. And then grief. We would have all gone through some of the other situations where we are saddened by something, or that puts us into that low mood, so we can release that as well. Now, what is pretense? We all know there's a lot of pretense that we do in a lot of circumstances. Sometimes you don't like a colleague, but you still smile and say hi. Somebody asks you, are you comfortable? You are not, but you just say, yeah, I am comfortable, because not every time we can speak the truth. So sometimes in relationship, we have to compromise. So though it's hurting, you don't like doing that. You say, yeah, it's okay, I'll manage. But deep inside, there's an element of pretense. You can't say no sometimes, though it is not advisable. It happens in a lot of occasions, so you can release that as well. And then comes worry, the most famous one. So we can also hold this like this and release it. You don't have to do everything at a time. You can do it in different intervals, or choose one emotion for one whole week. Depends on which one are you relating strongly with. Alright, this is a very important slide. If you can notice in the first slide, please, and look at the shadow. When we all meditate, we just have to definitely be in alignment with the posture that we are showing, calm and composed, but internally in a lot of occasions, it is in sadness, it is frustrated, it can't meditate, it's like, enough, I just want to get up and go. So, or it is in deep sadness. But the fact is, when you're meditating, there has to be a spiritual ecstasy. There has to be ananda. I'm using the word ananda, it's a Sanskrit word, because ananda is beyond happiness. They say there is no synonym for English in ananda. I can only say it's sort of a spiritual ecstasy. So ananda is eternal. It is not based on circumstance. Alright? So you have to feel that deep eternal bliss when you're meditating, irrespective of what you went through just a minute back, just before you close your eyes. But in some cases, for some clients, we have seen that they are not able to be in sync with the posture that they are showing. There's a lot of thing running inside, but eventually as you meditate, it gets into sync. But initially, you're definitely not able to get in that state. So we can choose some procedures and methods through which we can try to bring that in alignment. So you're trying to meditate, but the inner mind is going against it. So we can do a couple of meditations to release those clutter or negative thoughts in mind. So this is very simple visualization technique that we can all do. It's called mirror method. Very beautiful, extremely simple. Can be very effective in releasing your dilemma in your mind, or if you belong to that category that I told you previously, that you're meditating but your inner self is not in alignment with you. If you go through that, or you're addicted to being in that phase, if somebody is going through that, then this can help. Alright, so we'll try to just do this practice, and then we will do a beautiful guided meditation for a few minutes. Alright, so gently close your eyes, please. You can recline or rest your back, close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Keep focusing on your breathing. Put your focus on your natural inhalations and exhalations, please. Conscious deep breathing helps us to dive into the deeper layers of mind. So breathe in and out. And imagine a white, big wall in front of you. Big white wall. And slowly imagine an old mirror hung towards the left side of the wall. Old mirror, old dirty mirror, hung on the left side of the wall, towards the left part of the wall. As you approach this mirror, it is reflecting the troubled inner part of your mind. That part of your thought and mind, or thoughts and mind, that is perturbed, disturbed, is against your willingness to be in peace while you meditate. It is giving you negative thoughts. It is working against your intentions. It's like the inner saboteur. It is going against you all the while. Try to project and see all that clutter and frustration that runs in your mind when you're trying to settle down within yourself. This is an old, dirty mirror with broken frame. Now slowly and gently, as you're making a conscious, deliberate effort to make your inner mind understand that this is not your true identity, first, pluck and throw away, remove and throw away the dirty frame that this old mirror has. Now, with a magical wiper or a magic cloth, wipe the image of all that you have seen as if you're wiping your mind clean. You just have to visualize. This is a magic cloth. It's wiping all the images that you've seen. It's a magic cloth. You can wipe anything. Your mind is now becoming like a clean slate. Mirror is glittering and shining as if it's a brand new mirror now. Slowly lift the mirror with both your hands and move it towards the right side of the wall, please. To a new location towards the right side of the wall. And as you move it to the right side, new chords are flowing into your mind. New image is already being projected in the mirror. And to make it feel important and to celebrate this, imagine fixing a brand new frame to this mirror. Posh, brand new, grand, glittering frame or anything that you would love to have like a frame for this mirror.
Pourquoi vivez-vous dans des mondes séparés?
And now see a brand new image of your own self, which is in absolute inner tranquility, in deep sense of meditation, which is experiencing that ananda, eternal happiness, divine bliss.
La séparation n'existe-t-elle pas que dans vos têtes?
See all those qualities that you always wanted while you subject yourself in deep meditation, being projected by your inner and your outer mind. Your inner mind is reflected in the mirror and your outer mind is your own conscious mind looking at the mirror. As you are, so is the reflection in the mirror, isn't it? So you're seeing a brand new image. Your inner and the outer minds are now in alignment in this beautiful brand new mirror. Feel this grandeur and enjoy the bliss in your heart of seeing your mind being in absolute alignment of meditative state. Slowly and gently, as we prepare ourselves to come out of this beautiful state of meditation, you know this alignment will continue in all your further meditation practices.
Restez unis et vous allez comprendre ce que signifie aimer. Erst als Teil des Ganzen werdet ihr verstehen, was Liebe ist. Don't drift apart. You understand the truth of love. Yara Seam Judo Imakunit.
Beautiful. Gently move your fingers and toes. And when you feel you're ready, please rub your hands, click them on your eyes, open your eyes and come back to normal, please. Please pardon me. Bharat? 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 Yeah. I want some water. All right. So, all good. Anybody wants to say something? Any confusions? Ram and Madhu, anything that you guys want to say, or can I proceed further?
Yeah, friends, maybe you can type the question in the chat option, then maybe we can address them. Yeah, Purvi, that's fine?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think we can proceed.
Yeah.
Yes, all right. I hope you're seeing my slides now. All right. So just to bring us out of this, there are a few things that can be also done that can be a lot more fun and creative, and that can become like a daily practice for us to put our thoughts in alignment with all the joy and celebration of life. This is one thing that I do. This is a very beautiful practice. I'm sure some of you all know about this. This is like the magic jar. So I have also made one, as you can see in the slide. So what we do is, me and my husband have a practice to, we've started this from the beginning of this year. We do this every year. So whatever beautiful thing has happened, it's not like about to happen, or it is not our intentions or what we want. Whatever has happened in the previous week, every Sunday, or at least during that week, we write that beautiful thing that has happened and put in a chit. So from Jan 1st till now, though there was lockdown and COVID-19 and everything, we were so surprised to see that there were so many beautiful things. Now, this need not be winning a lottery or something huge. You just have to find beauty in every subtle experiences of life. And honestly, these things have given us that much joy. So let me do some picking of few things just for you to understand this. So we write down something beautiful that's happened during the week and pen it down or jot it down and put it in the jar. And on 31st night, instead of cutting cake, drinking cool drinks, going party, we read all these chits. Imagine there'll be such amazing things to recall and share. And oh my God, actually we were a little free during this lockdown. So we were reading some of the chits last week, and it was such an amazing experience, trust me. But of course, you have to have a mind that can celebrate subtle things. So I'm picking up on one of the chits just to see or explain to you. I don't know what's going to come up. Okay, so this happened in January. I've written, thank you, universe. I visited. So there was this temple that's about 100 kilometers away from our house. So in January, we had an opportunity to visit that temple. This is a very ancient temple. It's almost about, I think, nearly thousands years, almost 900 to 1,000-year-old temple. This is Balakrishna temple, as in Krishna in his baby form, but it has had a lot of mysterious experiences of people who have visited there. So we got a chance to visit there, to sit down and meditate there for a few hours. It was a fantastic experience for us. So I have written that down. So let me see what else is there. Okay. So during this lockdown, of course, I'm sure all of us would have done that. We really enjoyed distributing food to people in need. So there were these low-wage workers who lost their jobs and they were in need of food. So we went there, and with all our protection, of course, we went and distributed food to a lot of people. And that happened to be a sacred, auspicious day. That was Shankara Jayanti, in fact. So we enjoyed this a lot. So this, you just go on writing anything that has brought joy to your heart. Now, these affirmations of wanting something is not just about, going on with ever-ending list of I want this and that. It's also about being conscious and awareful of what you already have. Only then you will develop that power to attract more of this. So it is the element of joy and not really. So you can ask, so what's the big deal about going to a temple or helping few hundred of people? Everybody does that. I mean, there's no big deal. But the element of joy that comes, like they say, think of beauty is a joy forever, or that beautiful sweetness that comes into your aura is something that's like a medicine, or that gives you that magnetism to attract all that you want. So there's another one I've written. We recently created a anthem for our clinic. So I always had this. So there are a lot of such shits. I had a crazy intention from almost, I think, 5-6 months that we should have our anthem, like every country has an anthem. So that in the morning we pray, or we chant that, or we play it on the player, or when we are winding the clinic, so that reminds us of our true purpose, the spiritual intention, and how soulfully we have to serve to the people who come there with expectations of getting better, and also can have few values for people who are aspirants of health. And fortunately, we found a fantastic anthem, and we've been practicing that. So I've written that. That gave a lot of joy to my heart. So yeah, if you've already been practicing it, nothing like it, but some practices like this that can bring in a lot of joy also brings our thoughts into alignment, because we know we are addicted to nagging and complaining, and these tendencies of always comparing and judging. So these things can completely change the brain circuit. If you've read Joe Dispenza's books, you know how these little things of nagging and complaining and blah blah can actually make an impact on your brain. I've forgotten the person who was investigated on this, but there's a person who made 20,000 brain scans and found out that how, if a person was addicted to being in that depression or recalling bitter negative incidences, his brain had actually eventually changed into creating signals from the brain to the body to create diseases. So when we create such beautiful things, you're healing your brain actually, right? So the next most beautiful thing is Anapanasati meditation. We know we are all blessed to have Brahmashi Patriji sir, where he's doing such a, I fall short of words, such a phenomenal, fantabulous job to awaken human consciousness. I forgot about the Osho story. I will tell you after this. Right. So whenever you connect with the higher consciousness, whenever you connect and try to reintegrate your 5 elements through any meditation, you visit a forest, or probably go trekking, or you sit in a cave, or you connect with water, you do a fire ceremony. We do so many things, listening to drums, or maybe a spiritual gathering, connecting with crystals, sound healing meditation, light language, whatever. So all these integration of elements of energy immediately connects us to the higher consciousness. So when we do that, our thoughts are actually healing. So these practices that we've been discussing from yesterday till date, till this slide, helps us not just find that sense of relaxation, but also heals our aura. So we know our aura can have a lot of debris and sporadicness that can be healed, and definitely all your subtle bodies and your energy bodies get better. Your chakras are in better alignment, and we all know how our aura gets better and better through these practices. So this is a Kirlian aura photography, energy field that can be represented through the electromagnetic radiation. So no matter how many books we read or how much of theory we understand and say yes to, unless we experience it, it just doesn't get into the system, But Buddha says you don't have to be disappointed, because even if you do very little sadhana or you are almost a failure in doing anything, you are still a part of joining the mainstream. It's like you're a tiny stream already. The minute you think, yes, I have to be spiritual. Yes, I have to have a holistic approach towards something. You have created that tiny stream in you, which will eventually, without your knowledge or with your knowledge, merge back into the ocean that it wants to get into. These were his actual last words, last few explanations that he gave to his students, that if you don't do a sadhana or you don't do enough, or you feel I'm not an expert, I'm not doing a good job, don't worry, your very little effort is also counted and you are a part of this journey. You can't come out of it. So pardon my son screaming in the background, please. Right. So, okay. So we are not yet winding up on this. So I was telling you about the story Osho used to share in his speeches, that there was this filthy rich fellow, and due to some accident, he lost his eyesight. So he goes to the doctor. He says, I can give you whatever amount of money you want. Please help my eyesight to be retrieved. So the doctor makes all the investigation and says, I can try, but there could be complications. There could be a situation where I'm trying to do a surgery and there is another complication. Something else might happen. You may get the eyesight or may not. But this can lead into other complications because you already have another set of diseases. So I don't suggest going for it. But if you persist, then we can give it a try. But it's still a risk. So this filthy rich guy says, okay, maybe I don't need it if it's a risk, because you're saying it can lead into other complications. I'm so rich that I can afford to have around 20 people around me, hire 20 people, where for every job, somebody is acting like my eye. For example, if I want a glass of water, somebody will help me for it. If I have to change my clothes, somebody will help me. If I have to take bath, somebody will help me. So they will all act like my eyes. I can give them enough money and they will do it. So as he aspired for it, that happened. He was so very rich that he could afford to hire a lot of people, including his own family members serving him. So for everything, they were acting like his eye, Everything he wanted, they would do it. They would read books for him. They would take him out for a walk. They would do everything for him. So one fine day, his beautiful mansion went on fire. So some fire accident happened and it was burning. And within split seconds, everybody ran off. They ran for their life. There's so much of fire everywhere. They forgot about this old man. And then he could understand people are screaming and he could feel that heat. Of course, you can sense it when fire is around. And then just about dying, he understood that no matter how many external eyes I hired and had, in the moment of emergency, only my own eyes would have helped. So there is a metaphysical meaning behind this story, that no matter how many external comforts we have, I keep telling my students, just close your eyes whenever you're free, if you're not scared of death, and think of 5 people who have died around you and the reason why they died. We would have all heard of stories of death, be it our friends or relatives or far off relatives or neighbors or anybody. 5 reasons. And I'm sure out of these 5 reasons, at least 3 to 4 reasons will not be because of shortage of money. I repeat, out of those 5 prominent examples you will take in your mind of death of your closed ones or whoever you have heard of, even read it on newspaper or saw that on TV, at least 3 or 4 people have not died because they didn't have money. They died because they didn't take good care of health. They died because some shock occurred in their life. They died because of accident. They died because of old age. They died because of suicide. So we have to understand that no matter how many external comforts we create for our own self, if we don't open the inner eye, then in the case of emergency, those external things cannot open your eye or escape you from that fire. Only you or your inner eyesight can help you. So let us see how we can open this inner eye through our last beautiful meditation. So if time permits, I will go ahead because it's already 8 o'clock. This might take another 10 minutes. So Ram, if you can please, or Madhu, can you please confirm? Can I go ahead?
Yeah. Yes, we can go ahead if your time permits. And there is one thing. Some of our friends had asked some questions that are in the comment list here in the chat list.
Okay.
You can take a call. Either you want to go for these answers now or even towards the end.
Okay. So let me see.
You want me to read them maybe?
Yeah, I think
I will read it.
Yes, I think I found it, Ram. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So Deepak says, how can we effectively align our goals to our soul purpose? Yes, that's a beautiful question. So I think I'll just take the questions first so that we can correlate it with the slides that we have.
Please.
So Deepak, it's simple. You put your priorities, make a list, one below the other, like an hierarchy, or make a tree out of it. And then you see how you can just juggle around to ensure that if manifestation of one thing which is spiritual and beautiful can connect the others, then you have it right. All right. So if you are a businessman, for example, of course you would want a lot of money. But then if you put your other thought that customer satisfaction is my priority. Hi all, please write your questions with us. Okay, good. Vandana, please explain ring, pinky, thumb. Okay. So this is pretense. This ring thumb also, I think you asked. Okay. So this one is pretense. The last finger is pretense. So if we are subjected to a lot of pretending, faking our personality or lying a lot, or we are trying to project a personality which we are not truly all about, then we have to release this. All right. So this is fear, anger, grief, as in sadness. And this is worry. Okay. Wow, Krupa, I love your question. Most of the people have this problem that they feel they're meditating, but they're not connecting with inner self. Usually I start my presentations with this. I think yesterday I forgot. Please do not be under the notion or impression that when you meditate, you got to feel that some different vibes and, you have to have your third eye open and see colors and blah, blah, blah. No, I'm sorry. It is not at all necessary. Just to be in this space of stillness is sufficient. Different people have different methods of articulating it, different expressions of feeling it. So for you, what is important, or for any meditator for that matter, is to just be in that stillness. In fact, Osho and other meditators say that you don't even have to make a deliberate effort to stop the thoughts. You don't even have to do that. Ramana Maharshi says you don't even have to do a specific act to meditate. In fact, he says just be, just witness. So, but Buddha made it so easy by helping us focus on the breath, since it's the key of life. So you don't have to really, get that different exotic experience of connecting with your inner self. You don't have to. Your consciousness, as in being awareful of your act, is sufficient. Everything is happening automatically. You're not aware of it. So don't run behind any fancy, transcendental, or those terms which have been used by other people or in books. Yes, they use it because the bliss that's coming in the heart, they don't know how else to express. So they have their own terms and explanation. But please trust me on this. It's not necessary. You just have to be in that state. That's about it. So Anapanasati is the best way. If you can spend 15, 20, 30 minutes following the rhythm, that is enough. You don't have to worry about anything else. So trust me, you have to win over this desperation that I want to feel something different. The more you run behind it, the poorer your experiences in meditation will be. Trust me on this. Just let it be. Just focus on either breath or just being present in that moment with your friends, or you can pick up on something more simpler where you're just doing a mudra and you're just focusing on what you're doing, or a yoga posture and you're looking at yourself, how you're sitting. Start with that and come to Anapanasati and just focus on your breath and forget about the other transcendental different experiences, because that's going to be an automatic, spontaneous impulse that will be created. You cannot derive that deliberately. It's not possible, according to me. Sorry, Deepika. I know, I saw that later. Deepika, yes. Kavita, what is the process or procedure of understanding life purpose? Wow, this is my favorite question. Pardon me if I'm making an elaborative explanation for this, but I know we all have a life purpose and it's nice to know, but you know what? I've had a lot of people who come to me and ask, oh, I'm so purposeless, I'm just a housewife. Trust me, on the space where they put occupation, they write just a housewife, or they write strike it off. So it doesn't work like that, because most of the times your life purpose is to be in your role. To be in your role. As in, if you've done all the beautiful things in multiple lifetimes and you want to be a mother or a beautiful wife or to grow some plants, what if that is your life purpose and you're doing it? You want to grow more and more plants. You want to teach more and more students. So you want to build more and more beautiful houses for people as per their dream. So it cannot be different from the role you've chosen, because your super duper intelligent subconscious self, when it was programming its life script, knew what his life purpose is, and therefore your role as a farmer or a constructor or as a housewife or whatever you are, Kavita Reddy, whatever you are. So you're already your life purpose. Now you have to make yourself better. That's all. So there's no different, oh, this is your life purpose sort of thing. I know it is nice to have that, but honestly, not necessary as well, because your role itself is a projection of what your life purpose is all about. I hope I've answered your question, but if you have more doubts, you can ask me. Yes. Krupa, thank you. How can we connect with inner peace and tranquility into a physical world? Wow, that's beautiful. Well, there are a lot of ways through which we can do that. Yesterday we did certain practices. I'm not sure, conscious Savi, if you were there. Yes, yesterday. So when you're already in that consciousness or in that state of bliss in your heart, when you meditate or when you do some spiritual practices, they project back easily. But there is a small trick to it that you can do. This is in answer to the question that conscious Abby, if I'm not wrong, has asked. So there's a trick that you can do. After you meditate, after you finish your stipulated time for your meditation, the last second, just before coming out of meditation, you can affirm yourself that all that I've received in this beautiful state of bliss, all that I've learned about peace and tranquility in this state will be projected into my physical reality through my actions. All my actions will be converted into actions of love and compassion. My heart will be a space of compassion. My mind will reflect that. My mind will be a space of tranquility, awareness, and calmness. So everything that I do will be in alignment with this. So every physical reality that I will experience till I reconnect with meditation, that is, till I connect again with myself, is going to get better and better by observing these qualities. So in the last second, I repeat, you just say the last bit of your meditation. When I come out of the meditation, I'm going to use these principles or these beautiful experiences into my physical reality in a better way than what I was doing till date. Because your question is actually fantastic, because we all know that in the state of bliss and meditation, we forgive, we are very good people. Nobody like us. We are an absolute joy. But the minute we open our eyes, then we tend to go back to that aggressiveness and that anger and that nagging and that complaining, and that it's very, very common. But when we do this affirmation, then you know already, consciously and subconsciously, and even with the filter that is in between, that remember you said you're going to use the energy from the state of bliss that you had in meditation, so project it now in this action. So if you can do this affirmation just before you wind up, that will be very good. Yes, thank you, Deepika, thank you, Kavita, and thank you all of you for your questions. So now we will do another short meditation and then wind up. So now this is especially for people, I was one of them, so who often have these questions like, what is that I need the most in life? I don't understand what I really need. What do I have to become to attract what I really need? Or what is stopping me from being what I really want to be? So, and so many other similar questions. So let's try to find a way out for these confusions and all the clutter that runs in our mind. All right. So just give me a minute, please. Bharat? Okay, my husband is babysitting, so I will probably have to scream a little louder. And I'm not sure how I mute myself here. Okay.
Yeah, you're audible, Purvi.
Music. Hello, music. Here?
Sounds similar, no?
Mm-hmm.
This one.
No, I know that.
Which one?
Let's talk it to something. I'll do from here. I've downloaded it. All right, so gently close your eyes, please, and focus on your breathing. They say that everything that's reflected in the outer reality when we meditate, every single sound, every single experience reflects what is happening within our own selves. So when we hear somebody banging the door, ringing the bell, some construction sound down the street, somebody screaming your name, phone ringing, child playing, screaming, crying, are all reflections of something that's happening within our own selves, and it has been metaphysically projected to you. So the beautiful sound of a baby now was a representation of the inner child, which happily wants to come back to its mother. So imagine you're embracing this child and you're diving into a beautiful journey now. Slowly and gently now, imagine a beautiful garden. Softness of the grass, fragrance of the flowers, exotic panorama. Soothing your senses. Lie down on this bed of grass, please. Slowly shift your awareness onto the deep sense of relaxation that you're going through. Slowly and gently shift your awareness onto your energy field, the beautiful cocoon of energy that surrounds you. Now slowly imagine a beautiful beginning point on top of your head, like a zip probably. You can slowly hold that and zip your energy layer all the way down till your feet. Slowly and gently hold that point and zip it slowly down. You're unzipping your inner essence slowly and gently all the way till your feet. Your inner child, your inner essence is now desperately unfolding itself, making its presence felt. And slowly, with the space that you've created, that you've opened up, it's sliding out and sliding up. Like a beautiful ball of energy, gently and slowly, out through that opening that you've made. All set to fly towards the sky, towards higher dimensions. As if this beautiful part of your spirit has got wings and it's flying high towards the sky. Higher and higher, deeper and deeper, deeper and higher. You know, as you fly further, you will enter a divine paradise. Slowly and gently, making your way to this paradise. Beautiful, exotic paradise. Your access just that point and you feel so happy and delighted. You see your angels, your guides, your masters welcoming you to this paradise. You are so happy. They are hugging you and kissing you. They are welcoming you with immense joy. And you know you're here for a purpose. They know it as well. So they're leading you towards a long, beautiful mirror. You're so excited and thrilled to see this long, beautiful, precious mirror. You have a question to ask. Therefore, go ahead and write your question. What is that most important thing that you wanted to ask to the universe? You might not be able to recall what it is right now. You may choose to even imagine that you're writing a question. Or you may write what you feel like. You may ask anything that you were so desperate to know for all these years. Go ahead and write that one beautiful question, that important, precious question that you want an answer for. Frame it, and reframe it if you want. Correct it, and recorrect it if you want. Look at every single word of what you've written. Now you feel, yes, I've finally written the question. Legitimate, clear, and desperate for an answer. Slowly and gently, as you stand there gazing at your question that you've written, now imagine the answer for this is slowly popping up in the mirror. Yes, the final answer has arrived. You can vividly read it. Such profound words. Or maybe you can't see what it's written. Maybe you can't understand. Doesn't matter. The answer has arrived into your inner self. All you have to do is to believe that the answer has arrived, is to imagine that the answer has been projected, and feel that joy in your heart that you finally got the answer. You got to just celebrate and feel happy that yes, I found the answer. This is the one. Observe the energy of the answer into your heart, and through the joy that you will express now, the answer will come to you through the means that's most appropriate for you in this journey that you're exploring. So just feel the joy of getting the answer, and dance with your angels and masters with contentment and happiness. Time to say goodbye to your masters and time to make your way back to your body. But may the joy continue. Your inner child is jumping and screaming in joy, for it's found what it was desperate for. Slowly and gently, one step after the other, making your way back to your body with this joy. Happily and joyously, screaming in fun. Making your way back towards Mother Earth. As you look at your body, as your inner child is happy and jumping in joy, just before you dive into your body, celebrate this moment of observing your body. And when you dive back into your physical reality, the energy of finding the appropriate reason or answer will integrate and merge back into every single cell, creating further opportunities, realities to help yourself manifest that what you wanted. Slowly and gently, jumping back into your body now. And as your essence spreads throughout your physical self, imagine that beautiful zip moving up again, down from your feet towards top of your head, completely covering you and wrapping you up to be a better person of deeper understanding, joy and celebration. So friends, let's celebrate and fill our hearts with joy, assuming, believing that yes, I'm already that answer that I was looking out for. And universe will find its own ways to bring it into physical reality and understanding. So let's celebrate this beautiful experience that we have had in the past 2 days, as your own inner self has created this beauty, this reality, this learning, and this ecstasy. All right, with this feeling of immense joy, pleasure, and happiness, slowly and gently move your fingers, move your toes, make some gentle movements in your body. And as you continue to feel this happiness and joy in your heart, rub your hands against each other, keep them in your eyes, on your heart, and slowly come back to normal, please. Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you Sita, thank you Kavita, thank you Kripa, and thank you all of you for all your positive comments, and thank you so much Madhu and Ram. It was definitely a fantastic experience for sure, connecting with such beautiful souls across different places. So thank you so much. I hope I was slow, and that's the only concern every time I have a tendency to speak very fast. So I hope people were able to understand this. Thank you, Vandana. Thank you, everyone.
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful session, Purvi. Thanks a lot for readily accepting it. Very fastly it had happened, and then you are here 2 days. Each and everything you said was just vibrating each cell within the body, and all our friends yesterday were sending us their experience, saying that it was almost 2 hours, and it just did not mean. I mean, it was just like few.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me. Yes. Thank you.
So thanks a lot. Really, thanks to Balu. Yeah. And happy to have your son also towards the end. Wonderful it was. Yeah. So really grateful. Really very grateful.
Yeah. I keep, sorry to interrupt you on this, but I keep telling my clients that when you meditate, there's absolutely no disturbance whatsoever. It is only a divine message that's coming from within. So there's no noise, there's no sound, there's no disturbance. It's only projected like that by the mind. But every single sound that we hear when we are in meditation holds a message. So I'm not taking sides of my son, but honestly, to talk about inner child and to have him run here only during this part of the session, the past 2.5 hours, was no coincidence at all, because he's been sitting in the next room for almost 2.5 hours now. But only during this part, he came, he made his presence, and he's back again in the room. So I always enjoy those interruptions and sounds that come. They're always in alignment. We just have to have open-mindedness towards that. Thank you so much, everyone, once again. I'm also writing a book called Holistic Wellness. So this lockdown has helped me to jot down all my thoughts. So when it's released, then I will definitely let Ram and Madhu know. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Yes. Super. So many of our friends are asking, and it's the same question we have: when will we see you back again? So hopefully soon we will connect. Definitely. And yeah. So thanks a lot again. Yeah.
Thank you.
Friends, very quick information. So tomorrow we will be back at 5 p.m. German time, 8:30 p.m. India time for the meditation. Hopefully Zoom is back. If Zoom is not there, we will find a better, let's say an alternative solution. So please be in contact. Send your WhatsApp number in case you're not there in the group to Madhu or mail us or whatever. So we are all connected and we don't miss the session. So thanks a lot. Thanks again.
Thank you. Yeah.
Just a moment, Madhu.
As well. Yes, please.
Purvi, I must say that you were very spontaneous. Wow.
Thank you.
The little one coming at the end was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. That part was amazing. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Purvi. Thank you for your presence. We really enjoyed. Yeah, thank you.
Have a great day and good night for all Indians.
Good night to Purvi. Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.